Xbox have just dropped the news on the brand new games we're going to be receiving on Xbox Game Pass towards the end of October and into early November, and honestly, it's looking pretty decent. Of course, it is all dependent on how much value you see here, but for me personally, I'm actually really excited for quite a few of these games. Xbox in total though have announced 17 brand new games today, so with that, let's dive right into things. First up, we have a game that's coming to Xbox Game Pass as a day one release on the 23rd of October, and it's looking insanely cozy. Powerwash Simulator 2 is finally landing onto the service, and although some of you may actually groan at this edition, the first game was one of the most popular indie games that arrived over the past few years. Of course, this one again has you power washing across different levels, but this time with brand new equipment at your disposal to make that cleaning even more effortless. There are also stuff like brand new mission types and even a home base to customize as you level up in the campaign alongside some cats. I did get an exclusive look at Powerwash Simulator 2, and I am playing this at this moment in time for a review which should go live very soon. I would say definitely pay attention to this awesome edition, as I feel it's going to be a standout indie for this year. Out of nowhere, the launch of Bounty Star is almost upon us, and it lands day one onto Xbox Game Pass on the same day as Powerwash Simulator 2. I've actually been waiting ages for this new indie, and we heard almost next to nothing about this game for ages, but now it's finally resurfacing and it's almost in our hands. At its core though, Bounty Star will blend third-person mech combat with base building and crafting. You will be playing as Clem, a broken but powerful ex-soldier, trying to shed the guilt of her past and fight for something good in the Red Expanse. You can expect a ton of stuff like bounty hunting missions where you have to track down some dangerous outlaws, then upgrading your mech and expanding your very own home base. You can actually pre-download this game right now, and I highly anticipate that this one will be a real hit. It's coming from Annapurna Interactive, who are no strangers to that fantastic indie scene. Super Fantasy Kingdom may look a bit basic in terms of a visual style, however, if we go by games like Vampire Survivors, basic can be insanely addictive. This one though is actually landing on the 24th of October, and it's a roguelike city builder where you must rebuild your home while fending off hordes of monsters that attack your gates every single night. Should your city fall and the forces of darkness sweep across the land, you'll then awaken to begin basically a new run where you carry forward the rewards of prior attempts. This will mean more heroes at your disposal, previously unexplored lands already uncovered, and every opportunity to push yourself further as you uncover the mystery that has you trapped in a never-ending cycle of life and death. It sounds so interesting, and again, it will land day one onto Xbox Game Pass for PC members this October. We then finally got a console release date a few days ago for Halls of Torment, but now it has finally been announced and will be landing onto Xbox Game Pass as a day one title. This will then be followed by its first paid DLC known as Boglands, and the massive free Bard Core update which will be arriving on the 28th of October. If you're unfamiliar with this one though, it's essentially a roguelike bullet hell dark fantasy title where you will descend into the Halls of Torment and must survive combat against waves of enemies in a sort of 30-minute run, each with unique environments that range from open spaces to long bridge with enemies on either side. It has some seriously strong reviews though over on PC, with 96% overwhelmingly positive from over 20,000 reviews. If you ask me, that sounds like a total banger, and it's one you'll definitely need to try for this month. The Outer Worlds 2 launches very soon, and yes, it's a day one Game Pass drop, and I'm so bloody excited. This sequel though takes us to a brand new colony named Arcadia, which is a fractured world torn apart by rifts and divided by 3 warring factions. Obsidian is going really all in though on player choice from what we've seen so far, so stuff like every trait, flaw and decision looks to ripple across the colony, and even the radio broadcast that you'll hear within the game. Weapons in this game are as wild as ever, from the returning shrink ray to new experimental toys, and so far previews have actually praised the expanded character builds that let you go stealthy, brute force, nerdy, or even silver-tongued diplomats. It looks as though combat has also been massively up this time, which is looking phenomenal, and it's just going to be packed with so much lovely humour and satire that I absolutely adore. I will be a little late with my review, which I'm currently playing through at the moment, but you can expect a performance analysis as of tomorrow when the embargo does go live. Terminull Brigade is already available for Xbox over on PC, but we are getting some massive and exclusive benefits as of the 31st of October. Terminus Brigade will also be coming to Xbox Series X and S consoles very shortly, and the game will get a Neon Genesis crossover in Season 2. With this one, it's essentially a fast-paced looter shooter with an action roguelike aspect to it, where you'll be exploring new realms, collecting some epic loot, and then fighting through unpredictable high-energy combat encounters. You can do that either solo or teaming up with your friends in co-op, and it is noted as being the ultimate test of your skill and strategy, so there are some pretty hectic and hard moments. I've actually been playing it on PC, and it's pretty fun from what I've played so far, so I definitely recommend checking it out if you can. With all the games that I've mentioned so far, it's definitely looking like a pretty strong month for Xbox Game Pass. However, we actually had the confirmation today that 1000 X Resist will also be joining Xbox Game Pass on the 4th of November, and that's for both the Xbox Series X and S consoles, bringing us another excellent indie game to the library of Xbox Game Pass titles. This one though is a sci-fi narrative-based adventure where you will play as a watcher named Iris. However, when one of Iris's sisters uncovers the lies of her existence and is executed, she then has to set out and uncover the truth. Over on Metacritic, 1000 X Resist sits with an impressive 86 Metascore, while on Steam it actually holds an overwhelmingly positive rating from over 4,000 reviews. It's safe to say that this indie gem will definitely be worth checking out, however I won't be, as it certainly doesn't look like my cup of tea. Football Manager 26 is coming this November, and the best part, it will be available day one on Xbox Game Pass for both our consoles and yes, PC as well. After the cancellation of FM25, many fans, including myself, have actually been really nervous and quite apprehensive about the reveal of FM26, but it's completely flipped the mood. The reaction online since this announcement has been really positive, with loads of us actually praising the huge leap forward compared to the leaked FM25 footage and screenshots, which looked pretty dreadful. On the pitch, stuff like visuals though have been incredibly polished, the UI looks a ton sharper, and the gameplay systems look deeper than we've ever experienced before. We even had the note recently that Football Manager have actually acquired the rights for FIFA, which is absolutely insane, so we can expect a proper World Cup mode sometime next year. I can't wait for the 4th of November, and I'm just hoping and praying that this is a brilliant entry. One game that I'm actually really excited for personally is known as Voidtrain, and we finally got the announcement that it will be launching into its 1.0 state, so yes, it's leaving early access from its PC days into 1.0 on the 7th of November, and yes, this one's also coming day one to Xbox Game Pass for consoles and PC. Voidtrain, of course, if you haven't heard of it before, is basically putting you in the position of an engineer that's working aboard an interdimensional express train, and they're steaming through what they call the Void. It's essentially a vast, ever-changing world full of mysteries and unique places, but in there we'll have to build, customize and upgrade our train while taking out different enemies and exploring different floating islands with loads of puzzles and dangerous fauna. Honestly, it looks pretty great, and if you are interested, again, this lands on the 7th of November. I will try and get my review up on this one just prior to its launch day, so make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss out on that video. I managed to call it last month ahead of a lot of other outlets out there, and it's finally been confirmed that Whiskerwood will be joining Xbox Game Pass on the 6th of November, and that's via game preview for Ultimate and PC Game Pass subscribers. If you're unfamiliar with this one, it basically has you establishing a home for your industrious mice while they're living under the tyrannical rule of some cat overlords. It is a city builder though, so you'll have to explore untamed lands, grow your crops, and gather all manner of commodities while keeping your mouse folk pretty happy. I love these unique city builders, and it's great seeing so many of them hit Xbox Game Pass lately. Even though this one is a very strange take including mice, it looks bloody wonderful. If you have a PC, it's certainly worth checking out when it hits Xbox Game Pass this November. A release date has finally been shown for the super cute and cozy looking survival game known as Burrow. It's now been revealed that as of the 12th of November, it will be landing straight onto Xbox Game Pass. Obviously, as I mentioned, this one will be a survival game, but it's taking a more cozy approach to the genre as you play entirely at your own pace, meaning you can customize your own Burrow character and go out when you please. To give us some semblance of a story though, your aunt, who was supposed to be looking after your childhood home, has gone missing. Of course, it's then up to you to find her, restore your home, and so much more. You can kind of get the general gist there. I can't wait for this one, and I do feel it will be an awesome indie gem to play, especially on the Xbox Rock Ally when this one lands on the 12th of November. Of course, the largest release of this November though has to be Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and yes, even though it might not be having a great time in terms of its reception from the community, it will still unfortunately be one of the largest games of this year. The one aspect I will be looking forward to at least is the story, as the timeline will shift from the 1990s to 2035, bringing us near-futuristic gameplay alongside David Mason, who's actually meant to be the son of former Black Ops protagonist Alex Mason. I wasn't that keen personally on the open beta, and I did actually think it was quite boring, but then again it's quite nice to see some upcoming changes to skill-based matchmaking and so much more. Who knows, this one could actually be a decent Call of Duty, but as someone who loves Battlefield 6 since that got released, the COD story and zombies have to be utterly outstanding. With Microsoft's recent Xbox Game Pass overhaul, which has been extremely downvoted, and I really don't blame everyone, the new premium tier is a much more affordable option these days, and despite a lack of day one launches there, plenty of games are still being added on a regular basis. Today, two major additions to the premium library have been announced by Xbox, including the first-party title Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, alongside the excellent strategy title Commandos Origins. It's great to see both of these games finally being added to that tier, and I do fully recommend that you try out Commandos Origins, as it's one of the best strategy games we've actually got on Xbox Game Pass to this day. They are both being added on the 22nd of October for all premium users, and of course, if you're an Ultimate or PC member, you can already play them right now. Just as a little bit of housekeeping and a reminder to you, Ninja Gaiden 4 is now out on Xbox Game Pass for all Ultimate and PC members. This is an incredible action title that I had a chance to review personally, and I have to say, it might be one of my favourite titles of this year. It has you playing as a brand new protagonist called Yukumo, who channels the art of blood ninjutsu, and of course, Ryu does return. It's absolutely bonkers, and if you do want to check out my review, do click the link in the comment section below, and you can see why I actually rated this one so highly. Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3 are also out right now for all PC Game Pass subscribers, and this was an incredibly weird addition that seemingly came out of nowhere. These are some of the best strategy games that ever came out of Ubisoft, and although they are certainly showing their age, it's still worth diving into to understand why they were so widely praised by many out there. Although I've never actually played the second game, I did enjoy the third, but I do warn you that you should understand this is from a different era, and it does have some questionable design quirks. So if you're interested, it's PC only for now, but hopefully we do see them come to our Xbox consoles in the near future. Unfortunately though, with it being a brand new wave of Xbox Game Pass games, we do have a few games leaving on the 31st of October. Do make sure to use your Xbox Game Pass if you want to save 20% and buy those games, or just finish them up as soon as you can. The following games leaving are Jusant, Metal Slug Tactics, and Return to Monkey Island. Personally, I really do recommend Jusant. You can easily get through that game in 1 or 2 sittings, and it's a fantastic indie experience. How would you rate the Xbox Game Pass offering for the rest of October and into November? You'll have to let me know out of score out of 10 in the comments below. Do like this video as well if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day. Whilst you're here though, and if you want to check out some more Xbox content here on the channel, why don't you check out the video on screen now. I actually covered Arc Raiders and the 10 things that you need to know before you buy, before it arrives at the end of this October.